Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. The Blessed One, the Supreme. I pay homage to my teacher, Swami. Sadhu, sadhu. So, do you remember the sutta we were learning? The main sutta? Kundaliya Sutta.
Yes, Bhante.
Right?
Kundaliya.
Kundaliya Sutta. And the Buddha was teaching the wanderer Kundaliya about the path to liberation and awakening, also for the to gain true knowledge. So, if you can remember, the Buddha taught Kundaliya, the wanderer, the path here starts with the sense restraint, so that you guard the doors of the senses. By doing so, you prevent the arising of unwise and unwholesome qualities. So you maintain a peaceful mind, because you are mindful of all the objects that enter your mind through hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking. So because you practice such a restraint, sense restraint, you can maintain a beautiful peace in the mind. Because such a restraint leads to the inner peace, because you block lots of defilements from entering, such as desire, anger, or any defilements that destroy your peace. So Buddha realized very clearly, unguarding the sense faculties is a major source of generating pain and misery in people's life. So when the meditator is aware of the objects, external objects, and he is also very mindful of the objects that enter through all the sense bases, he practices sense restraint. And with the development and cultivation of sense restraint leads to what?
Three kinds of good conduct.
It leads to the development of three kinds of good conduct by way of body, speech, and mind. And we learned about the meaning of three kinds of good conduct. So the bodily actions are peaceful and wholesome. Verbal actions are peaceful and wholesome. Mental actions are peaceful and wholesome. So all those actions are beneficial for the doer and beneficial for the others. So that's the kind of that's the path to live without regret and remorse, because all the precepts are covered by the good conduct of body and speech. So there is an additional development with the mental good conduct. So there you understand the precepts also mentioned in the Noble Eightfold Path when Buddha explains the right speech, right action, right livelihood. So now you can see how the same Noble Eightfold Path is elaborated here in a very interesting way. So when the three kinds of good conduct are developed and cultivated, it leads to the fulfillment of the four kinds of mindfulness meditation. And how is that practiced? And Buddha explains the meditator or the practitioner meditates by observing an aspect of the body, keen, aware, and mindful, rid of desire and aversion for the world. So that's the first kind of the four types of mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness regarding the body, seeing the true nature of the body. Buddha has explained, Buddha has given us different techniques to how to practice it. So that's only one part of the mindfulness meditation. So we are still learning about that one part when we have to learn about four types of mindfulness meditation, four aspects of the establishment of mindfulness. Now, can you see like gradually Buddha explains how this path goes deeper and deeper and to achieve advanced levels of the practice. It started with the sense restraint, and then with the precepts, plus mental purification to some extent, through the three ways of good conduct by body, speech, and mind. And then now it goes deeper to understand the true nature of the body, true nature of the feelings, true nature of the mental states, the true nature of the wisdom factors. So it's going gradually deeper to deeper aspects of the meditation. Did you see that?
Yes, Bhante.
So we also used another sutta to learn about the first, the different techniques that leads to the development of the mindfulness of regarding the body. So if you can remember, we were learning about the breathing meditation using the Ānāpānassatisutta from the Majjhima Nikaya. So the Supreme Buddha taught about the breathing meditation in detail. So can somebody read the breathing meditation again before we learn the second technique of the mindfulness regarding the body?
Yes, Bante, may I?
Okay.
So we start with breathing in long. Oh no, and how because is mindfulness of breathing developed and cultivated, so that it is of great fruit and great benefit. Here, a bhikkhu, gone to the forest or to the root of a tree or to an empty hut, sits down, having folded his legs crosswise, set his body erect, and established mindfulness in front of him. Ever mindful, he breathes in, mindful, he breathes out. Breathing in long, he understands, I breathe in long. Or breathing out long, he understands, I breathe out long. Breathing in short, he understands, I breathe in short. Or breathing out short, he understands, I breathe out short. He trains thus, I shall breathe in experiencing the whole body of breath. He trains thus, I shall breathe out experiencing the whole body of breath. He trains thus, I shall breathe in tranquilizing the bodily formation. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, tranquilizing the bodily formation. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, experiencing rapture. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, experiencing rapture. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, experiencing pleasure. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, experiencing pleasure. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, experiencing the mental formation. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, experiencing the mental formation. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, tranquilizing the mental formation. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, tranquilizing the mental formation. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, experiencing the mind. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, experiencing the mind. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, gladdening the mind. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, gladdening the mind. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, concentrating the mind. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, concentrating the mind. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, liberating the mind. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, liberating the mind. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, contemplating impermanence. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, contemplating impermanence. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, contemplating fading away. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, contemplating fading away. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, contemplating cessation. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, contemplating cessation. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, contemplating relinquishment. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, contemplating relinquishment. Because that is how mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated, so that it is of great fruit and great benefit.
So, so something very remarkable here, the Buddha actually in few other suttas mentioned about that. I don't know if you have heard about it, but maybe you were curious to know about it. So sometimes in some places, Buddha would describe there is one meditation. By practicing just a single meditation, the practitioner can develop all the four kinds of mindfulness meditation. So did you get that? So what are the four kinds of mindfulness meditation?
Mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feeling, mindfulness of the mind, and mindfulness of the Dhamma.
Yeah, so there are four aspects of mindfulness meditation. So Buddha teaches there is this single meditation by practicing which the meditator can develop all the four kinds of mindfulness meditation just by practicing one meditation. Have you heard that before?
Yes, Bhante.
Yes. And maybe some people haven't heard it before. So this is how it happens. Buddha explains. So if you notice this first section of the breathing meditation, can you see this part? This the first paragraph, the whole paragraph.
Yes, Father.
So when the practitioner practices these aspects of the breathing meditation, understanding the long breath, short breath, and understanding the experience when he meditates experiencing the whole in and out breathing process, and also when he meditates, tranquilizing, calming down the in and out breathing. So that whole practice of the first as a segment of the breathing meditation, that is included in the Ānāpānassatisutta practice. It's related to the development of the mindfulness of the body. And if you pay attention to the second segment of the breathing meditation, it is related to the development of the mindfulness with regard to the feelings. This part here, can you see?
Yes, Bhante.
See what is in there? I shall breathe in, experiencing rapture. You see that? Experiencing pleasure, experiencing mental formation. That's also perception and feeling. Mental formation means two things: perception and feeling, sanya vedana, and tranquilizing perception and feeling. So when the meditator is practicing breathing meditation, and he is now the meditation is taking off very well, and he can see the happiness emerging within, and the hindrances are gradually subsiding. Some kind of spiritual rapture, happiness, bodily pleasure. When the meditator experiences those kind of aspects through the breathing meditation, that's called the mindfulness with regard to the feeling is developed at that time through the breathing meditation. Did everybody understand that?
Yes, Bhante.
This is how all the satipatthana, all the 4 satipatthanas are developed through a single meditation. This is a very, very special thing. And then if we notice the third segment of the breathing meditation, and which is this part, you can see now the meditator practices breathing meditation, experiencing the mind, experiencing and also gladdening the mind, also concentrating the mind, and also liberating the mind, liberating from 5 hindrances. So all those aspects are related to the different mental states. So when the meditator practices breathing meditation at this stage, it is called the meditator practices the mindfulness with regard to the mind, Ānāpānassatitta. So before he practiced, at the very beginning, he was practicing Ānāpānassatitta through breathing meditation. Secondly, he was practicing Vedana through the breathing meditation. And thirdly, he's practicing Ānāpānassatitta through breathing meditation. Still the same meditation. Okay, is that clear to everybody?
Yes, Bhante.
Yeah, there are other discourses where Buddha explains this thing, how it is happened, and you can read more about it by reading those suttas. And finally, if you go to the 4th segment of the breathing meditation, which is this part, the last part of the breathing meditation, what is in there? The meditator practices breathing meditation, contemplating anicca, anicca-ānāpānassatisutta, contemplating impermanence of the aggregates, the 5 groups of clinging, impermanence of the conditioned things, the form, feeling, perception, volitions, consciousness, understanding the impermanence of cause and effect mechanism, and yeah, basically understanding. He practices breathing meditation while contemplating the impermanence of all the conditioned things, and he understands very deep Dhamma through this. And also because of at this point the breathing meditation is very developed with vipassana meditation. So now this whole part is about vipassana. Because of practicing meditation, contemplating impermanence, he understands the defilements of the mind, the negative qualities, the root causes of unwholesomeness. So all these things. So as a result, now he can find the way out, how to get rid of those defilements and the path to abandon those defilements. By understanding that, he still practices the breathing meditation. So what happens is, though he can see those defilements are fading away. So he breathes in, contemplating fading away of those defilements. And he breathes out, contemplating fading away of those defilements. And when those defilements are fading away gradually, now he sharpens his vipassana knowledge. As a result, he can see the cessation of all those defilements. They are disappearing forever. So that's a very advanced level, and he has now he has the opportunity to gain or to achieve a very higher levels of the understanding, the stages of enlightenment. So that's the meaning of the person, the practitioner breathes in, contemplating relinquishment. Breathes out, contemplating relinquishment, relinquishing all the defilements, craving, lust, passion, hatred, delusion, ignorance. So that is, so when the breathing meditation is developed with these aspects, the practitioner is practicing the fourth aspect of the establishments of mindfulness, which is the Ānāpānassatisutta. Dhammanupassana, contemplating the wisdom factors, vipassana factors. That's a very interesting way how Buddha explained all the four aspects of mindfulness. Establishments of mindfulness are developed through a single meditation. Is that clear?
Yes, Bhante. Thank you.
So that's the last explanation, which I couldn't do last time. So now with that, we have completed the instructions about the breathing meditation. Now we can go to the second mindfulness technique under the mindfulness of the body. Oh, I didn't know that. That explanation is just below that paragraph. It's right there. So you can check.
Oh, yes, Bhante.
You can check whether we learned it properly. Do you like to read? Because this is very important. This is because this is one of the very famous meditations among all the meditation taught by the Buddha, and because this is very famous, there are lots of misinterpretations at the same time, and some confusions or different problems related to some explanation. So it's very important to understand the Buddha's original words about the breathing meditation. I think it's important we learn the exact way how Buddha thought about it. Are you interested in reading this, or you want me to go to the second technique?
I think we can read, Bhante. I can try.
Okay.
Yes. Fulfillment of the 4 foundations of mindfulness. And how, bhikkhus, does mindfulness of breathing, developed and cultivated, fulfill the 4 foundations of mindfulness? Bhikkhus, on whatever occasion a bhikkhu breathing in long understands, I breathe in long, or breathing out long understands, I breathe out long. Breathing in short understands, I breathe in short, or breathing out short understands, I breathe out short. He trains thus. I shall breathe in experiencing the whole body of breath. Trains thus. I shall breathe out experiencing the whole body of breath. Trains thus. I shall breathe in tranquilizing the bodily formation. Trains thus. I shall breathe out.
Okay, so let me explain something here. Sorry.
Yes.
So did you see here? Some people misunderstand this phrase here. Whole body and whole body of breath. Did you see that?
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, Bhante.
So some people think during breathing meditation with this phrase, I shall breathe in experiencing the whole body. When they hear that, they think they should pay attention to the different sensations in different areas of the body, in different parts of the body. Is that the real meaning? There is another word here.
No,
What is that? What is that word? Experiencing the whole body of
breath.
breath. That is the key word there. And if you drop that word, if you drop that word, you just think, I have to experience in the different sense. I have to experience the different sensations of the different parts of the body. And then you are not doing the breathing meditation. You are doing a different meditation. So you won't get the results. You will go somewhere else.
This is where the doctrinal and commentarial traditions differ, correct?
Yes. And this is the direct translation, right?
Yes. Bhikkhu Bodhi says that the contemplating the whole body at that point is the doctrinal approach, and contemplating more the breath at that
Yeah,
point.
more the breath,
The
entering of the breath, and also the leaving the breath, through the nostrils. So the whole process of a breathing, in and out breathing, right? So that makes sense, because you only just started doing breathing meditation, and now you think you just forget about that and focus on the different parts of the body. So this makes sense, because you are still stick with the breath, because you just started doing the breathing meditation. You're not supposed to leave the basic meditation object and jump into a different area. So this makes sense that you have to stick with the breath, and you are doing the breathing meditation. So meaning here is that you understand the whole process of the breathing. You are not paying attention to the other parts of the body, sensation of all. You're not, your focus is not that. Your focus is the breath. Is that make sense?
Yes, Bhante. I think it makes sense.
It makes full sense. So, okay, Linda, you can go ahead.
Yes. He trains thus, I shall breathe in, tranquilizing the bodily formation. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, tranquilizing the bodily formation. On that occasion, a bhikkhu abides contemplating the body as a body, ardent, fully aware, and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. I say that this is a certain body among the bodies, namely in breathing and out breathing.
Okay, so here we don't need like anybody else's explanations. Buddha very clearly explains here the meaning of the body within the breathing meditation. What is the meaning of the body within the breathing meditation?
In breathing and out breathing.
In breathing and out breathing is direct word of the Buddha.
Thank you. That's brilliant. Now my mind is settled on this point.
Okay, so that's why
Yeah.
that's how the suttas help us.
Yeah, I was thinking differently too. Yeah. Now I know. Now.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why you are encouraged to read suttas. That's why enlightened ones preserved the suttas out of compassion for future generation, right? Okay, Linda, you can finish that paragraph.
That is why on that occasion, a bhikkhu abides contemplating the body as a body, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu. Very good. Okay, now who is going to read about the second segment of the breathing meditation and how it, on the other hand, fulfills the establishment of mindfulness with regard to feelings. So isn't that very interesting? In brief, the breathing meditation is included in the Kaya Anupassana. It is one of the techniques in the mindfulness regard to the body. But within that meditation, even the mindfulness with regard to the feeling is developed. That's an amazing way how Buddha realized that this meditation can take you all the way. Like that's a beautiful way. So now we are going to learn about how the mindfulness of feelings is developed within the breathing meditation. Who is going to read?
I can read, Bhante.
Okay.
I can read, Swaminatha. Bhikkhus, on whatever occasion a bhikkhu trains thus, I shall breathe in, experiencing rapture. Trains thus, I shall breathe out, experiencing rapture. Trains thus, I shall breathe in, experiencing pleasure. Trains thus, I shall breathe out, experiencing pleasure. Trains thus, I shall breathe in, experiencing the mental formation. Trains thus, I shall breathe out, experiencing the mental formation. Trains thus, I shall breathe in, tranquilizing the mental formation. Trains thus, I shall breathe out, tranquilizing the mental formation. On that occasion, a bhikkhu abides, contemplating, feeling as feeling, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. I say that this is a certain feeling among the feelings, namely giving close attention to in-breathing and out-breathing. That is why on that occasion a bhikkhu abides, contemplating, feeling as feelings, ardent, fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world.
Sadhu, sadhu. We rejoice in your reading. Okay, I think now you have clearly seen what Buddha meant by saying that mindfulness of feelings or contemplating feelings is also developed through the breathing meditation. This happens when the meditation is sharpened gradually. The mindfulness is sharpened and the concentration is gained gradually. So now the mindfulness enters more subtle areas such as feelings. So in the contemplating the body, in that section is mindfulness is kind of gross, still gross. But when the mindfulness becomes sharper, clearer, and more concentration is developed, now the meditator's mindfulness can enter very subtle areas of life, and one of those subtle areas is feelings. Now this sharpened mindfulness, developed concentration, allow the meditator to see those subtle areas of life and to understand how they arise, how they pass away. So this is the result of the developed concentration.
Bante, quick question, Bante.
Mm-hmm.
In the second section talks about mentioned about mental formation. So, and then we tie it up to feelings. So am I right to say that feelings develop mental formation?
No, mental formations means
Is feelings?
a single word for two words. Chitta Sankhara is the Pali word, okay?
Okay.
Chitta Sankhara means, describes two words. Sanya Vedana, perception and feeling.
Okay, okay.
So mental formation means
Perception and feeling.
Sanya Vedana. So still it's related to feelings. That's why it's included, the whole section is still included in the Vedana Ānāpānassati,
Okay.
observing feelings.
Thank you, Bante.
Yeah.
Ante, may I ask something, please? Ante, after we read this second paragraph, can I interpret the second paragraph as the in-breathing and out-breathing and the feelings, they arise at the same time, Bante, because the in-breathing and out-breathing is our main object.
Yeah, that's why it's saying here, I shall breathe in, experiencing rapture. So still he's breathing in and breathing out. At the same time, he's experiencing the different feelings.
So Bante, we just experience it, but we don't pay attention. Like, well, we have to pay attention.
Experiencing means you have awareness about what is happening inside the mind. Okay, now happy feelings are arising and in the mind, and happy feelings of the body are arising. Just a bare knowing. That's the meaning of experiencing. But your main focus is on breathing at the same time, because your mindfulness, because your mind is directed to a single meditation object. Now you can see more things. If the mind is scattered and distracted, it's very hard to see different levels of the mental status. That's what basically happening here.
Right. Thank you, Bante.
So today I don't have the mouse, so I have a hard time of working with this. Now I don't know how to make the letters bigger.
But can you please click on the icons on the, there's something called minus and then rounded.
Where
A
is
circle on the top, just below this tab. A circle, inside the circle you can see a minus, a line. You can just click on, yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yes, Bhante.
That worked. That's a great relief.
Many, many.
Okay. But it disappeared now. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah, because it's, I think, 100% Bhante.
So what should I do next?
You can click on the 3 dots, the last icon, Bhante. 3 dots.
Here?
Yes, Bhante.
Okay. Oh, here, Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom. Yes, Bhante.
You go, okay, okay. You are an expert, right?
Many merits.
Anyways.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's about feelings. So we go to the next part of the breathing meditation and the mindfulness of the contemplation of mind is developed here. Chitta Ānāpānassati is developed within the breathing meditation. Who is going to read?
Can I read, Bhante?
Oh no, not this paragraph, the previous one.
The impermanence, Bhante.
Yeah, the previous one. Here.
Bhikkhus, on whatever occasion a bhikkhu trains thus, I shall breathe in, experiencing the mind, trains thus, I shall breathe out, experiencing the mind, trains thus, I shall breathe in, gladdening the mind, trains thus, I shall breathe out, gladdening the mind, trains thus, I shall breathe in, concentrating the mind, trains thus, I shall breathe out, concentrating the mind, trains thus, I shall breathe in, liberating the mind, trains thus, I shall breathe out, liberating the mind. On that occasion, a bhikkhu abides, contemplating the mind as mind, ardent, fully aware, and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. I do not say that there is the development of mindfulness of breathing for one who is forgetful, who is not fully aware. That is why, on that occasion, a bhikkhu abides, contemplating mind as mind, ardent, fully aware, and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world.
So yeah, so Buddha explains this mindfulness meditation is definitely done by very mindful people, very mindful practitioners. So definitely he can understand the different states of minds during the breathing meditation. So that's very clear how the mindfulness of breathing leads to the development of the mindfulness of the contemplation of the mind. Good. So we go to the next part of the breathing meditation, and this is about the observing the wisdom factors, the vipassana factors, or the contemplating the wisdom factors, Dhammanupassana. This is how the Dhammanupassana is developed within the breathing meditation. Who is going to read?
I can read, Bhante. Bhikkhus, on whatever occasion a bhikkhu trains thus, I shall breathe in, contemplating impermanence, trains thus. I shall breathe out, contemplating impermanence, trains thus. I shall breathe in, contemplating fading away, trains thus. I shall breathe out, contemplating fading away, trains thus. I shall breathe in, contemplating cessation, trains thus. I shall breathe out, contemplating cessation, trains thus. I shall breathe in, contemplating relinquishment, trains thus. I shall breathe out, contemplating relinquishment. On that occasion, a bhikkhu abides, contemplating mind objects as mind objects, ardent, fully aware, and mindful, having put away covetousness and greed for the world, having seen with wisdom the abandoning of covetousness and grief, he closely looks on with equanimity. That is why on that occasion, a bhikkhu abides contemplating mind objects as mind objects, ardent, fully aware, and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world.
Sadhu, sadhu. We rejoice in your reading. So it's is about contemplating the wisdom factors. So it's the same thing here translated as mind objects. So I like to use the wisdom factors. So it's Dhammanupassana. All the vipassana factors are observed here within the breathing meditation. Very good. So didn't we learn a lot about breathing meditation and different aspects, different areas?
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, Bhante.
Are you happy about it?
Very happy.
Very
Bhante,
much so,
I-
Bhante.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just feel like the Buddha's knowledge is so vast, Bhante. It's like for the
So vast, so
So-
clear,
extraordinary.
simple explanations, straightforward explanation, everything. It's if you like one word to that, for all those words, what are those words like? Very vast, beautiful, amazing, straightforward, very clear. One word. We have one word. What is that?
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
Huh?
Truth.
What is that one word?
The Sino said, okay.
Knowing.
Swakato. Swakato.
Swakato. Well taught.
What is that one word?
Swakato.
Swakato means well taught. Well taught. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo. Well taught by the Blessed One. Well proclaimed by the Blessed One. So when you say Swakata, so next time when you do the chanting, Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Samdittiko Akaliko, when you chant next time, so try to add more meaning to that, more meaning to your chanting. Swakato means this is the meaning of Swakato. So you will have more faith while you are chanting.
Yes.
Okay. Any comments? Anything you like to discuss or anything you like to share?
Yes, Bhante. Can I ask one more question, Bhante?
Mm-hmm.
So there are from Ānāpānassatisutta, mindfulness of breathing, it will lead to the fulfillment of the 4 kinds of mindfulness, 4 foundation of mindfulness, Bhante. But my interpretation again about the sutta is that we have to develop starting from the Kaya Anupassana, then going to Vedana, going to Chitta, and then going to Dhammanupassana. Bhante. Is it an occasion that we can, like when we meditate, just go to the Vedana without like?
It's better to go in the order of like, because how the explanation, the teachings have been laid out by the Buddha is that going from the easy practice to the difficult practice. That's a part of the gradual teaching. So
Right.
so that's the order. If you pay close attention to each teaching, that's the order.
Yes.
Buddha always gives the opportunity to the practitioner to start with the simple things,
Right.
to with easier things. So like that, if we compare with all these observing the body, observing the feelings, observing the mental states, and observing the insight factors, the wisdom factors, the easiest one for the beginner is the observing the body. That's why it comes first. Because Buddha has the limitless compassion. So Buddha is the Anuttaro Purusha Dhammasarati, the unique teacher of taming others, and
Persons to be tamed.
the incomparable trainer of taming people. So always, because of that limitless compassion and unsurpassed ability to teach about the path, the highly skilled teacher. So the Buddha always has presented the path in such a way that the practitioner always starts with the easy things and gradually goes to towards the difficult ones. So because the body is a very gross aspect of mindfulness, a gross object, everybody can touch it, see that, feel that easily. So the observing the body comes first. So what happens? Observing the mental states, observing the feelings, if those factors came first, some meditators would get stuck there, because in the beginning, very beginning, he has these very subtle objects to focus on. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, Bhante.
So for some meditations, it would be very difficult. So that's the amazing skill of the Buddha of presenting the path, explaining the path, always giving the simple things to begin with, right?
Yes, Bhante. Bhante, does this also mean that we are practicing the samatha first and then vipassana, or according to this sutta? Is it that both go?
That's how it goes. Did you remember in the first part of the breathing meditation, there was vimochayang chittang assasisami iti sikkati, vimochayang chittang passasisami iti sikkati. That's in the beginning part of the meditation. That means vimochayang chittang means liberating the mind from 5 hindrances. I shall breathe in. Liberating the mind from 5 hindrances, I shall breathe out. So that means at that point, the meditator experiences the peace of the mind, the clarity of the mind, because the 5 hindrances are subsided. So that's basically developing the clarity of the mind. The inner peace means samatha, calming down, gaining clarity of the mind. And that's how gradually the meditator moves towards the insight part of the to do the contemplating on the wisdom factors. Yeah, samatha vipassana both are practiced through the breathing meditation. That's very important.
Yes, Bhante.
And I have a question, Bhante. And it's regarding the subtle portion of the meditation, like the vipassana part. Like when we begin the vipassana, would that means that we had to tackle the gross one first and then the subtle, because the subtle is harder to find, right? To get it. Is that the order?
Yeah, this is the order, yes.
Oh, okay. But it takes a long time to find the subtle part of it.
For some people, only for some people. For some people, the gross ones, subtle ones, in in one day. He understands everything in one day. Gross ones, subtle ones, whatever in the mindfulness practice, some people understand in one day.
So that comes with wisdom too, right?
Wisdom and the previous merit.
Oh,
good karma coming from past lives.
uh-huh.
Those who have practiced these same things in past lives, in many of the past lives, and their spiritual faculties such as faith, mindfulness, energy, concentration, and wisdom, Shraddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya, these spiritual faculties have matured and culminated very well, so that they quickly realize the final realization, and all the aspects of mindfulness are developed in a single day or within few hours after meeting the Supreme Buddha.
Mm,
Luckiest people on earth.
that's right.
So they became arahants like Sariputta Bhante, Uggalana Bhante, Mahakassapa Bhante, Angulimala Bhante, Ananda Bhante, Rahula Bhante, all the arahant Bhantes, most of them they realized within few years, few months, few weeks after meeting the Supreme Buddha.
Wow. Yeah, thank you. Sadhu.
Yeah.
Sadhu. Thank
The
you.
way we go is hard to think. Is maybe in many years at least. One day this practice will come to an end.
Bante question. So if a practitioner is able to complete the entire, up to vipassana, so what stage of jhana can we expect that he has reached?
Yeah, so jhanas also simultaneously with the development of the mindfulness through the breathing meditation, the jhanas, attainments of the jhanas are also going higher and higher, starting with the basic concentration, unification of the mind, along with the development of the mindfulness of breathing. The jhanas would also move on to first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and maybe also towards the formless jhanas like infinite base of nothingness, base of infinite consciousness, akasana chayatana, vinyana chayatana, Akinchanyayatana, Neyasanyana, Sanyayatana, those are the formless jhanas. So the full capacity of achieving higher levels of jhanas.
So the breathing is just one of the basics, even though he has attained the vipassana meditation stage. So it's just one. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you,
this is the meditation the Buddha used for the enlightenment, breathing meditation. But not all of the disciples gain enlightenment as the breathing meditation, the major object, because Buddha taught so many different techniques of mindfulness. Different disciples practiced different techniques as their major ones, and also the normal practice is that a practitioner would practice many types of meditations, not only one. Yeah. So, okay, now we move on to the second meditation, second, third, and fourth meditation object, maybe under the mindfulness of body, contemplating the body meditation. So what is the next meditation object here? Who likes to read?
I can read Swaminatha.
Okay.
And again, monks, when a monk is walking, he comprehends, I'm walking. Or when he is standing still, he comprehends, I am standing still. Or when he is sitting down, he comprehends, I am sitting down. Or when he is lying down, he comprehends, I am lying down. so that, however, his body is disposed, he comprehends that it is like that. While he is thus diligent, ardent, self-salute, the mind itself is inwardly settled, calmed, focused, concentrated. Thus too, does a monk develop mindfulness of body. And
Yeah.
again monks, a monk when he is setting out or returning is one acting in a clearly concise way. When he is looking in front or looking around, when he has bent in or stretched out his arm, when he is carrying his outer cloak, bowl and robe, when he is eating, drinking, chewing, tasting, when he is obeying the calls of nature, when he is walking, standing, sitting, asleep, awake, talking, silent, he is one acting in a clearly concise way. While he is thus diligent, ardent, self-resolute, thus too monks does a... Swaminas, I cannot see the lower portion. So
Yeah, that's two monks. Thus the monk develop mindfulness and meditation.
mindfulness of body.
Yeah, mindfulness of body. Okay, so this is the second technique to develop mindfulness of body, kaya Ānāpānassati. So the main purpose of developing mindfulness is to maintain a mind that is free of defilements, free at least the major defilements, the gross defilements. Examples: sense desires, anger, ill will, hatred, restlessness and remorse, sleepiness and drowsiness, doubt. These are the gross defilements, the major defilements. So the purpose of the mindfulness practice is to subside those defilements, at least subside, and eventually all those defilements should be uprooted, eliminated fully. So, but the mindfulness meditation helps all the practitioners to subside them, actually at least temporary. So to do that, meditator always has to use another object, because if you try to push one object away from your attention, you need something else to fill that in. Otherwise, another defilement will find the opportunity and come in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if you like to push away the unwholesome objects from your mind, the Buddha's discovery was that you have to fill that with a wholesome object. So all the objects, all the meditation objects mentioned in the 4 establishments of the mindfulness are wholesome objects. Wholesome objects means if you spend the whole day thinking about those, focusing on them, you're not going to generate bad karma. That's the meaning of the objects. That's the power of the objects, of wholesome objects. That's the power. If you spend the days and days focusing on those objects, there is no danger for you, no danger for others around you. There is no accumulation of bad karma. because those are called wholesome objects. Breathing is a wholesome object. Anywhere, anytime, any place, you can practice breathing meditation without any fear of gaining bad karma. But if you try to focus on the objects of sense pleasures, like lustful thoughts, greedy thoughts, thoughts connected to craving, greediness, longing, you should be afraid of. Because those are the sources of generating bad karma. So these mindfulness techniques are a powerful way to avoid those unwholesome objects. So these mindfulness techniques are full of wholesome objects. So another wholesome object is paying attention to the different postures of your life, different postures, walking. If we pay attention to the walking, that we can use that mindfulness focused on walking as a way to push other defilements, other negative thoughts, unwholesome thoughts away from our mind. Because your mindfulness is focused on walking, or your mindfulness is focused on your standing posture, or your mindfulness is focused on your sitting posture, or your mindfulness is focused on any of the posture, lying down posture, any of the main postures of your life. So your mindfulness is not carried away by an unwholesome object. Is that clear?
Swami, answer
Yes,
question.
Bhante.
Yeah.
Swami, answer question.
Hmm.
Swami, we discussed about Ānāpānassati,
Hmm.
and this is the Iriyapata, right, Swami?
This is the Iriyapata. Mindfulness on different postures of the body.
Swami, the Ānāpānassati can be developed until to Nibbana.
Until, yeah.
Because it can develop the seven, like what are those Sattva-bodhanga?
Yeah, awakening factors.
Awakening factors. Seven awakening factors. So, will this Iriyapata also lead you to all those seven?
Iriyapata meditation, because it is in the Chattaro Satipatthana, included in the 4 establishments of the mindfulness meditation. This meditation definitely helps the practitioner to develop samatha and vipassana. So, but the first part of the Iriyapata meditation, the posture meditation, is related to the samatha, the calming down, the concentrating the mind, settling the mind. But in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the greater discourse on the mindfulness, Buddha very clearly adds another part in the end of each meditation technique of the Kaya-anupassana. And after the first explanation, the first part of the technique, there is another part, and that part is developed after the mind is calmed down, mind is concentrated, and that is related to vipassana. So he understands at some point, he starts off with this meditation, the posture meditation, and then he moves on to understand the impermanence of all the postures, how postures arise, and how these postures are made up of an impermanent body, everything. He understands the impermanence, suffering, and non-self nature of the body gradually.
Thank you, Swami.
Very good. And then another technique of mindfulness of body is paying attention to all the other duties, daily actions that everybody performs during the day and night. So here it is explained about how a monk focuses on different duties of his life, wearing robes, looking around, eating, carrying robes and bowls, drinking, tasting, going to the washroom, walking, standing, sitting, talking, being silent, all these day-to-day activities. So Buddha discovered that if somebody can focus on the different duties, tasks throughout the day, that's also a powerful way to avoid unwholesome qualities arising in the mind. So this is sampajanya, awareness of different tasks. So those are some of the techniques related to the mindfulness of body. I think I remember, if I remember correctly, there are 14 types of mindfulness techniques to contemplate the body. So far we learned about breathing, Iryapata, Sampajanya. So 3. We only learned about 3 techniques. Did you learn beautiful things?
Yes, Bhante.
Good. Any other questions?
Swaminathan, may I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Swaminathan, we are talking about Chitta Visuddhi, right? This is
Yes.
purification of mind. So Swaminathan, for Chitta Visuddhi to happen, the Shila Visuddhi has to be fully fulfilled, right? So that could be one of the reasons if like the meditation won't go to the next level. It could be because there's a portion lacking
without following precepts. Shila Visuddhi means following the precepts, right?
The precepts, I mean,
the good conduct of body and speech. Yeah, so that's why precepts are very important. When we try to develop a more subtle thing like the mind, we need to follow the precepts first. Otherwise, it's hard to develop the mind. Otherwise, lots of regret and remorse will bother the practitioner.
Seminar, sir, recalling that Rakta Vinita Sutta, that in the, it's like the Shila Visuddhi has to happen like fully, right?
Yeah, it was mentioned in this sutta as well, right?
So Seminar said, yeah, so.
Yeah, but yeah, at some point it will be fully developed. Shila Visuddhi, purification of the morality will be fully purified, fully developed. But it doesn't mean that at the beginning, so the disciples of the Buddha wait until all the precepts are fulfilled. It doesn't mean like that. Yeah, they practice all the good qualities little by little, and they make mistakes. Sometimes they break precepts and then re-observe the precepts, meditates a little, and yeah, they go everything, little by little.
Yes.
Okay, Gita.
Thank you for teaching us the Sutta, Bhante. Thank you so much. Is my understanding correct in thinking that Buddha is telling us to be mindful of the present moment in all our daily activities, whether we're in meditation or not. Like, because that some of the part of the sutta that we read was, you know, when a bhikkhu is sitting down, he's aware he's sitting down. When he's standing up, he's aware he's standing up. So we could apply this technique to our daily lives and live in the present moment. And that way we give our mind an object that's wholesome to think of at that moment. And if we find an unwholesome state of mind arising, then we counteract that with a wholesome state of mind by being in the present moment. Is that the correct understanding?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Bhante. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. We should be very grateful to the Buddha for giving us so many wholesome objects. You know, if one thing is difficult, let's say Buddha only gave us the breathing as an object, as a wholesome object. Okay. Only those who are by birth have a very sharp mindfulness would be able to do that, because breathing is a very subtle object. But Buddha, as we discuss always, Buddha is has limitless compassion. So Buddha gave so many different objects. For some people, focusing on the different postures of life may be easier. Some people find it easier, so they do that. Some people find breathing meditation easier, so they follow that. Some people find the mindfulness on the impure parts of the body easier to focus on, easier to develop mindfulness with those areas, so they choose that. So that's a beautiful part. So different people have different, you know, they can select different options. So that's why Luxansa always, my teacher always say that when you read the suttas, when you study the original discourses of the Buddha, you can see the Buddha's qualities at the same time. When you study the suttas, you can see the Arahant quality, Samma Sambuddha quality, Vijjacharana Sampanna quality, Sugata quality, Lokavidu quality, Anuttara Purushadhamma Sarathi quality, Buddha quality, Bhagava quality by reading a sutta. You can see how Buddha is free of all the defilements. You can see how Buddha discovered all these things without a teacher, Samma Sambuddha. You can see all this. You can see how great the Buddha's skills are, the teaching, great skills, Anuttara Purushadhamma Sarathi. You can see all these qualities if you read suttas mindfully. That's why Buddha himself mentioned this. Yo dhammam passati, so mam passati. The one who understands the Dhamma understands me, sees me. One who sees the Dhamma sees me. You can still see the Buddha through the Dhamma. You can see the Buddha as an amazing, extraordinary person with no defilements, with no negative qualities. With a very wise person, like understanding all the realities of the life, impermanence, suffering, non-self. You can see who the Buddha is.
Bhante, when we are another clarification from Bhante, when we are in the jhana, even in the first jhana, we are secluded from these 5 hindrances, Bhante. Now, but that is only applicable when we are in the jhana. When we come out of the jhana, that means the 5 hindrances will still be there, right, Bante?
So what should we do?
So we have to keep practicing. So the I
Yeah.
guess my question is,
Even
Yeah.
though the practitioners don't have jhanas all the time, they can do one thing. They can be mindful of what is entering the mind. That they can do, even though they cannot emerge into the jhanas all the time. Satikvaham bhikkhave sabbatsikang vadami. Buddha teaches the mindfulness, I say, is to be practiced all the time.
So we have to.
It's not easy. It's not
Yes.
easy. It's not an easy journey.
It is not, Bante.
All the defilements are readily, you know, they are on the always seeking the opportunity, looking for the opportunity to enter our mind and destroy the peace, destroy all the wholesome qualities we have already gained, looking for the opportunity. Always ready to destroy us. It's a battle. It's a battle. Battle of defeating the defilements.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we learn beautiful things
Yes.
by teaching the Supreme Buddha's, by learning the Supreme Buddha's Dhamma, the most beautiful words in the world, leading to the true happiness, freedom from suffering.